of you and your love and devotion. And listen, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You hold your head up high. It is our government and the Iranian government. I think it's fair to assume that none of you have returned to Iran since your brother was held captive?
Actually, before my father was diagnosed with cancer, right after my brother was sentenced to death, my mother was allowed to go and visit him. And she met with him about 3 times, once in January.
What year was this?
In March 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So, but really it's 2015. She hasn't seen her son since 2012.
And what was his condition when she saw him?
Very gaunt, very pale. Mind you, he had been in 18 months solitary confinement for a long period of time in a 1 meter by 1 meter cell where he couldn't even stretch his legs. He was held in situations where he was limited to food and lost over 30 pounds and actually went on a hunger strike twice while he had been there, 3 times at this point now, because it's been 4 years. And so really just the amount of emotional and physical torture that he's endured, you know, we only hear the half of it. But we've obviously appealed not only to our government, to the Iranian government, and to human rights groups, but this is really something that needs to be addressed immediately.
How's your grandmother?
My grandmother is suffering emotionally to the utmost degree because, as you can only imagine, a grandmother who is longing to see her grandson, she hasn't seen him since he was a young boy, sees him again when he's 28 years old, and now he's trapped in a prison for coming to visit her. She actually went to the prison officials in her old age and said, just take me. He came to see me. I'm old, he's young, and you're robbing him of his life.
Is there an effort on behalf of your relatives in Iran to free him?
I mean, they're
do they have any
tirelessly, I mean, trying. My family over there, they thought they're well connected. They have, you know, influence over there. This is beyond even the normal scope of the judicial system in Iran. Even the Iranian attorney there says they are handling Amir's case completely outside of the realm of what's even in their own judicial code. Anything that right now they've charged Amir 10 years. They've sentenced 10 years for cooperating with a hostile country, and that sentence doesn't even match what's in their mandate for what they're charging him with.
So what will it take? So obviously they operated outside the realm. Whose hands is his life in?
You know, it's hard to say. Obviously, we hold more responsibility on Iran, but we obviously put America in their moral obligation to put pressure on the Iranian government to bring him home.
Yeah, we're not going to sign a deal and until you not only free Amir, you free the Washington Post reporter. You show some decency towards human rights.
Well,
they have nothing to do with this charade.
His release would be very welcomed in terms of, you know, we have all the international community watching to see how seriously that Iran can be taken moving forward, the fact that this deal's in place. I can't speak from a policy standpoint, but all I know is that Amir has been held there way too long. He shouldn't have been there in the first place, and we need to bring him home. It's just really deteriorating our family, and, you know, we obviously, what is it going to take? You know, even within their own mandate, Iran has viable options that are presented, that they even presented to us. We were told on his 3rd year he's eligible for amnesty. Now we're going on to his 4th year. We were told that he could be eligible for a or a conditional release, given the fact that our father is sick. And those things right now are being strung along, and we don't understand why.
So the word mean nothing?
Well, we want follow-up. We want answers.
So the word mean nothing. They are not adhered to any stipulation that they put in place that would move him towards freedom.
And those are viable options in their own mandate. These aren't even things that we or the American government or Amir's lawyer are suggesting. These are things that Amir himself is eligible for.
Do you actually think that the Secretary of State, when he's in the negotiations with this regime, even considers that you have this innocent life they're wasting away?
I mean, honestly, when it comes to our family, with respect to the U.S. government, we have received more feedback from them in terms of their efforts than we have from Iran. From Iran, the only feedback we get is what our Iranian attorney there is able to do, which is very limited, and he himself has admitted that he has his hands tied because they're handling Amir's case outside the realm of their own judicial system. Now, with respect to the U.S. government, raising the case, which is what Secretary Kerry has emphasized and what, has been told by the State Department in their meetings with Iran, is that it's continuously being raised. But what is being discussed that is going to come with tangible results to bringing him home, that's been left vague for us as a family. We know that there have been some ongoing talks post this deal announcement to discuss the release of Amir, but it's never enough for us. I mean, it's words to us until we know he's hopping on a plane to come home.
Is there any communication in terms of letters, any kind of contact with him? And when is the last time any member of your family has had any kind of communication from him?
So Amir, within the past year, has been allowed like short 5-minute phone calls to the U.S. For the past 3 years, we had no contact with him. He was allowed some visits by relatives, so my two brothers there, my uncles, they were able to visit him. He was seen by one of my uncles 2 weeks ago and was given, we were able to send him books. But everything is one-sided. So we can send him books, he can call us, but we can't call him. He can't send us letters, we can't send him letters. It's very limited to what they're willing to allow. And again, these are things that he is entitled to, but is not.